Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis and Arundel County and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Friday, June 20th, 2025. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief presented by Annapolis Subaru and the SPCA of Anne Arundel County. I'm a fall guy or a spring guy, but I'm definitely not a summer guy, so I'm not looking forward to this weekend and the week, and I am just ready to get this weekend over to be one more week closer to fall. And calling all linguists, here's an OMG fact for you. The word Q, Q-U-E-U-E, is the only word in the English language that is still pronounced the same way when the last four letters are removed. I'll wait for you to write it out. But now we do have some news, so shall we? The 2025 Atlantic hurricane season is officially underway, and with Annapolis sitting right on the Chesapeake Bay, city officials are urging residents and businesses to prepare now. The forecast is calling for an above-average season thanks to a La Nina conditions and warmer Atlantic waters, with up to 19 named storms this year and potentially 5 major hurricanes. The city of Annapolis is advising residents to create communications plans, build emergency supply kits, and register for emergency alerts through Alert Annapolis or the Prepare Me Annapolis app. Both of those are great resources. Don't forget to prep for your pets, too. They're going to need go bags of their own, and if you or a loved one needs extra help during emergencies, there is a special assistance roster available through the Office of Emergency Management. As always, remember, turn around, don't drown. There is a new artistic force taking the helm at the Compass Rose Theater. Madeline Austin has been named the artistic director, stepping into a role following the retirement of founding director Lucinda Mary Brown. Austin brings more than 2 decades of experience to the Annapolis-based theater with a background that includes off-Broadway productions, teaching at AACC, and working alongside some of Broadway's top talent. Most recently, she directed Little Shop of Horrors at the Compass Rose Theater, which received a Helen Hayes Award recommendation. Up next, a fall production of Pride and Prejudice. Austin says that she hopes audiences continue to be, quote, enlightened, enthralled, moved, and surprised by what they see on stage. And I will say that Compass Rose is a very surprising theater company and is a really cool little theater company that packs an awful lot of punch. Local talent will take the stage at Ram's Head On Stage on Monday, July 28th for a Starry, Starry Night. Yes, that's a month away, but it is a benefit concert organized by the Annapolis Musicians Fund for Musicians, or AMFM. The show honors the legacy of John Starr, a beloved Annapolis musician and teacher at Key School, and supports a scholarship fund for high school students studying music. For just $25, audiences will enjoy an evening of original songs performed by Annapolis musicians, playing tribute to Starr's work and others. Scheduled performers include Jimmy Davies, Sweet Lita, Timmy Metz, P.J. Thomas, Doug Segree, and many more. All proceeds are going to benefit the John Starr Memorial Musicians Scholarship Fund. Tickets, ramsheadonstage.com. Hey, looking into the weekend and seeing some of the events that are around, it's not too busy. It's all sort of centered around Juneteenth for the most part, but Saturday from 9 to 11, you can start your day at the Annapolis Maritime Museum with a creek cruise. It's an eco-friendly paddle through scenic Back Creek. They do provide the kayaks. It's beginner-friendly, relaxing, and costs $50. Bring your sense of adventure and maybe a can of bug spray. Tomorrow at 11 a.m., the Annapolis Juneteenth Parade kicks off downtown starting at St. John's College. You can expect floats, marching bands, dance troupes, and a whole lot of community pride. That starts down at St. John's College, works its way up to West Street, down to Westgate Circle, or I guess up to Westgate Circle. And once you're done there, head on up to the fairgrounds, because on Saturday and Sunday, the Anne Arundel County Fairgrounds and the Juneteenth Committee are presenting the Cajun Fest. It's C-A-J-U-N-E, a combination of Juneteenth and Cajun. It does run from 2 to 10 on Saturday with fireworks at 9:15 p.m. and continues on Sunday from 2 to 8. You're going to find everything from gospel choirs to go-go bands, great food, and family-friendly vibes. One thing you won't find there is booze. It is an alcohol-free event. You want to be sure to catch our local business spotlight on Saturday at noon. This week, we chat with Kirsty Palmer-Tippett of Waypoint's Yacht Charter. And if you missed the bonus pod we did with Lance Hoppin from Orleans, you want to give that a listen as well. Today on Canines and Crosstreks, we meet Rudy Jeremiah, a 2-year-old Cocker Spaniel mix with perfect hair. You want to listen to our spot now and then check out eyeonannapolis.net at noon for some irresistible photos of Rudy Jeremiah and get all of the information on how you can adopt him. And again, don't forget that we have our daily newsletter that features only the top local news stories of the day. We send it out to your email inbox at 7 p.m. every single night. Yes, that is 365 days a year, all without a paywall. It's perfect for keeping up with the weekend's news since we don't release a DNB on Saturday or Sunday. And here is a link right here in the show notes for you. All right, that's it. Now it is time just to say thank you for listening and putting up with us every day. I do hope that we add some value to your world. And if we do, please leave a review somewhere or tell a friend to give us a listen. We also want to thank our sponsors, Annapolis Subaru, the SPCA of Anne Arundel County, Hospice of the Chesapeake, and MacMedics. It is Friday, the weekend is here, so now it is time just to say have a great weekend, be nice to others, do something fun, and keep shopping local. Now you want to hang tight because we have your Eye on Annapolis local weather report and then Canines and Crosstreks. All of that's coming your way in just a minute.
Have you ever had to wait to get an appointment at the Apple Store? Skip the wait and the line at the mall by visiting MacMedics in Severna Park, where appointments are not necessary. MacMedics is an Apple-authorized premium service provider. MacMedics services all Apple devices, including broken iPhone screens and batteries, and all without an appointment. Most iPhone repairs are complete the same day and usually within a few hours. MacMedics is also an Apple-authorized reseller and sell Apple products at the same price as the Apple Store. Visit MacMedics in Severna Park for Apple-authorized sales and service and shop local. Don't wait for help. Call MacMedics at 410-757-MAX, which is 410-757-6227. It's 410-757-6227. Or visit them online at macmedics.com. Next up, we're diving into today's Eye on Annapolis weather forecast. From sunny skies over the bay to storm warnings that could impact your plans, we've got the details to keep you ahead of the curve. Stay tuned. It's all coming your way in just a moment.
Well, good morning. Here is your weekend weather rundown for Anne Arundel County. Today is looking friendly, mostly sunny with lower humidity and highs comfortably hanging in the mid-80s. Tonight is going to be pleasantly mild with temps dipping into the upper 60s. Not a bad evening to sit outside and pretend that it's not going to get a lot hotter a lot quicker. Tomorrow does bring the heat back with sunshine and rising humidity. Highs will push upward to 90. So if you've got outdoor plans, you want to take it easy or find a shady spot near some cool drinks. Tomorrow night stays warm with lows around 70. Still summer, but not unbearable. Sunday, hotter still with highs in the mid-90s and an overnight low of only 75. Looking ahead through next Friday, it is shaping up to be our first real heat wave of 2025. You can expect highs solidly in the mid-90s and nights that barely dip below the low 80s. The only silver lining, no rain means the humidity might stay somewhat in check, but as always, that forecast could shift. In the meantime, hydrate, seek shade, keep an eye on your neighbors, and maybe skip that noon jog. Enjoy your weekend and stay cool.
Coping with advanced illness can be overwhelming, and determining the best options for a loved one isn't always so easy. But here at Hospice of the Chesapeake, your hometown hospice, we want you to know you do have a choice. You can choose exactly who provides the care and the type of care you receive, and it's your decision when and where your loved one receives that care. We have served our community, family, and friends for over 40 years. We are there when you need us. Learn how we can help at hospicechesapeake.org.
That can only mean one thing. We're headed to the SPCA of Arundel County with Annapolis Subaru to play with the pups for this week's Canines and Crosstreks. Sponsored by Annapolis Subaru. Higher standards.
All right, welcome back to Canines and Crosstreks. And once again, we're without Kelly. And
Kelly.
I'm wondering whether all those little white dogs up at her house have maybe staged some sort of a coup.
Maybe she just doesn't like us anymore, John.
Could be.
I don't know.
Do you think
Kelly's probably the nicest person I've ever met in my life. There's no way that she could not like us enough to not come hang out with us for like 20 minutes.
That's true. It's a serious thing. She is not feeling up above the weather. The weather right now is looking pretty ominous, and probably
it is.
She's probably feeling pretty ominous. So we do miss Kelly, but she did send us information about Rudy Jeremiah.
Rudy Jeremiah looks like a very proper dog.
He does. He's a Cocker Spaniel mix.
Mm-hmm.
Got a wonderful hairdo.
Yeah, really nice hair.
And he's about 2 years old. And I was reading the upline on there and it said that he is good for a family with no other dogs and the 18 plus things because he's got some territorial behavior thing, which is cool. But he loves
Listen, some dogs just don't like kids.
I love the euphemism on their thing. They said it's got resource guarding tendencies. And I think that just means like
that's a nice way to put it.
You take his stuff, he'll snap at you.
Right.
But he's been there since about March 15th. And
too long.
But we got to get a home for Rudy.
Absolutely.
Or maybe he goes by Rudy Jeremiah. I don't know. But he's got great hair, a small dog. So he's good for an apartment, single person, or maybe a couple or a family who've got some older people living in there.
There's lots of people that also don't like other people or don't like kids that may enjoy the company of a like-minded dog.
True. Well, he's sort of buff and creamy colored.
Yeah.
So perfect dog for many, many, many people. So AACSPCA.org is where you want to go to get that started on that.
Yep.
And if Rudy's not up here angled, just go take a look at some of the other ones because they're all just so adorable.
There's plenty of dogs
that
like kids too.
They are. We're talking about the rain and we're just getting dumped on. I'm wondering how I'm going to get back out to my car after this is done. Hopefully Subaru loves umbrellas as well as everything else that they can farm.
Yeah. I think we'll be able to figure it out. We may have to wait this one out though, John. It's looking pretty dark, pretty bad out there.
Well, I'll tell you, what the rain didn't get was bands in the sand.
That is true. Is true. It felt like it was going to rain the whole time.
It really
didn't. It didn't.
It did.
It was like smoky, ominous.
Well, that was from New Jersey. There was smokes or something.
Yeah, it was, I think, Canada or something. But yeah, I was driving over the Bay Bridge to go back to it. I was like, man, it is foggy. And then somebody was like, no, that's smoke. It's like, oh, okay. All right. But yeah, I did totally held out. Wasn't too incredibly hot. Wasn't super, sunny. It was like pretty good.
It really was. And apparently there must have been a weather forecast because rather than looking at my phone and trying to figure out what was going on, I just watched the boats that were anchored.
They were a bunch of boats out there. I was like, because they wouldn't be there if they thought it was going to get a little dicey. I was like,
they were small boats.
So they were pretty small too. Like, I definitely saw that as well. I was looking out and I was like,
I'm good.
I think this is going to be okay.
I'm good. Man, what a good time that was, though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the weather did not hold back anybody. Everybody was there. I saw you up on stage. I got there just slightly late, so I didn't get the best seat in the house, but I saw you up there doing oyster shooters with Hillary.
Yeah.
Introducing
Bart, who, longtime member of CBF, he they had this idea for us to eat some oysters up on stage, like an oyster cheers. And he brought up an oyster with no cocktail sauce.
Ooh.
So I had to bang back a raw oyster, no cocktail sauce, and then speak to a bunch of people. I was like, I don't think I've ever had an oyster without cocktail sauce.
They test you every step of the way.
Every step of the way. I was like, man, this is like the sand in my teeth. I was like, what is happening here?
There's probably some undercurrents going on between the Chesapeake Bay Foundation and Annapolis Cars going, okay, let's see how we can screw with Billy this year.
Billy to puke on stage. That'd be good. But in their defense, Hillary did it too.
True.
She did it too.
Did she have the same look?
I saw a couple pictures afterwards. I think that
she may have been like, where's the cocktail sauce?
What's going on here? What's
We're throwing a big party on the beach and there's no cocktail sauce anywhere around
here. What's going on here? But
what an awesome night though. And
it was so good.
Sister Hazel was great. I mean, it was I was impressed with the big banner that they call their fans hazelnuts. Okay. And they had the big old hazelnuts banner, which was
all right.
And again, thank you for, bringing the Crosstrek out front and the Forester down below.
Forester
but thank
hybrid,
you
yep.
for sponsoring this again and again and again. It's just always
absolutely.
And you know what? Summer doesn't officially start until you sponsor it. So
that's true.
Now,
that's true. It is now summer. We're getting the summer thunderstorms. We're nice and humid days.
I saw where Subaru again is having real strong sales. It doesn't seem to be the nationally, it doesn't seem to be the tariffs affecting them.
Not too bad,
which is really cool. And they said that the year to date sales is a 3% increase compared to 2024. Crosstrek is the top seller. Does that track with you?
We've been selling a lot of Outbacks, but
okay.
Crosstreks are doing pretty good too.
Okay. Said they had the best May ever with 15,793 sold or whatever it was. 14.1% increase over 24. Forester was close behind.
Yeah.
And
Foresters have been selling great. They're the hybrids have been great. And then even the non-hybrids are still selling like hotcakes. So they're people are really liking the new design of the 2025.
It was funny. The other day I was coming up Forest Drive and I was surrounded by Subarus, and there were various, and the two that were in front of me was I'm going to say probably a 10 or a 12-year-old Forester next to maybe last year or even this year's Forester, and quite a difference between the two in the body styles. They both look great.
Yeah.
And keep chugging away at 12 years and just,
every once in a while when you're driving around Annapolis, you'll be surrounded by Subarus. It happens.
It is. It happens a lot.
It'll happen to you.
You look for the little stars and there we go.
Yeah.
And I know last week we talked, but after we were just shooting the breeze after we were done here, you were talking about the increase. I was squawking about the increase in the VEIP that the state did that. And I know that my registration to register my car is now they give me the opportunity to do it for 2 years.
Yep.
And the ability to pay like 4 times what I paid for it.
Sure.
But you were saying that because they also increase the excise taxes and stuff like that.
Yeah. So excise tax is the equivalent of sales tax on a car. So currently it sits at 6% of the amount of the vehicle. And on July 1st, it goes up to 6.5%. Along with the title fee going from $100 to $200. So there's definitely the state is getting
the state's in the car business.
They make more money on these cars than we do. So,
I've often heard. When I was real little, a teenager, I would think like, okay, well, gosh, my God, they're selling these $20,000-$30,000 cars, these really expensive cars. They must be making tens of thousands of dollars per car.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And as I grew older, I realized that it's a very short margin, very small margin.
Small margin, yep.
When I own my travel agencies, people, you must be, and I'm like, okay, fine. We did $20 million, but you know what? It's 3% business.
Yeah.
It's just not there.
Yeah. So no, it's we try to there's not huge margins in these cars at all. But yeah, we do, we still give people good deals. We do the best we can to make sure that people are getting in cars that they can afford. But yeah, no, so what I would recommend is that if you're in the market for a car, and you don't want to pay extra fees, then, jump on it right now. We still have cars on the lot that are pre-tariffed, along with, through the end of the month, you'll save about 0.5% on tax and about $100 on title fee.
And I also heard that the state, I don't know whether they failed or whatever, but they tried to do it on the full price of the car. Because I know if I trade in a car, say my car's worth $10,000 and I'm buying a $30,000 car. Okay, so I'm doing a $20,000 transaction with you, and that is the 6%, right? I had heard that they were looking to try to back that out.
They did try to, and the Maryland Auto Dealer Association, with the support of all of its members, which are dealers, really pushed back on that, because that just wouldn't be fair to our customers. It would add a lot more money in taxes, and it would make it very.
Well, that's double taxation.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
I pay the excise tax on the thing to start it.
Yeah, you're paying tax when you buy the car. So when you trade it in, you would think that that you would not have to pay tax on the amount that the vehicle is worth at time of trade-in, which is the way it is now. And fortunately, that's one of the things that they took off the table, and they did not sign into law. So we're very happy with that. They did, bump the tax, half a percentage, and the title fee up $100, but it could have been worse. Yeah. So, I mean, it's, simple math, if you're buying a $20,000 car, your car's worth $10,000 instead of paying $1,200 in tax, you're paying $600. So it's a pretty big savings.
Significant.
Pretty significant.
Well, thank you for working on that. Keep your pitchforks handy because you got to keep your eye on that legislature. You never know what they're going to do. When I was leaving last week, I noticed something new at Annapolis Subaru that I never noticed before, and I don't know whether it is new or not. But you have a little free library at your driveway.
We do have a little free library. It is not new. We've had it for a while. We have a little free library for adults, and then we have a littler free library for kids. It's right at the front of our building. We got one of our TerraCycle benches that we had purchased from them, and a heart-shaped paver pattern that a lot of people will sit out there and read while they're getting service done, or if they're waiting to get picked up by somebody, whatever the case may be. But it's a little free library for kids and adults. And Michelle is our librarian. So
she's a librarian too?
She is a librarian.
Is there nothing that woman can't do?
She does it all. So she's always making sure that it's stocked with good stuff, and it gets a lot of use. So we something that we encourage our customers to
That's
check
awesome.
out. Yeah, it's cool.
That's awesome. You even got some neighborhoods right up the road from your dealership. They can come down and take a look at it and see what's in the library there. That's
absolutely
pretty awesome. But I'm looking back here to Rudy Jeremiah there, and I think that we need to figure out how to get him a home. Again, he's only 2.5 years, almost 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's 2 years, according to the website, it's 2 years, 3 months, and 6 days.
Pretty specific.
They always are, and I think it's a bunch of BS.
I don't know. Kelly's on it, man. I think they know when these dogs are born.
She really is. But it was saying that, Rudy loves to go out for walks when it's nice out. So it sounds like he's a little bit of a diva. And he's got the hair to go with it. I mean, he
looks like a little bit of a diva.
Well coiffed.
Yeah.
Pooch. But he's available again, AACSPCA.org. Annapolis Subaru, all the Crosstreks, all the Outbacks, everything available here at AnnapolisSubaru.com or 149 Old Solomon's Island Road.
Yeah, we actually just got our biggest shipment of Forester hybrids in. So we have a few of them in stock. So if you've been on the fence there about checking out the hybrid, it's something that we currently have in stock, and you can test drive and possibly take one home.
And one of the best, safest cars out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I still go back a couple months ago or whatever it was when it's yelling at me for driving off the side of the road and everything else. But
you're a bad driver, John.
And actually something just sort of hit me. Somebody that I know casually just lost his son in a car accident.
Oh my God.
I don't know what they were driving, and he was actually a passenger. But I just think that whatever safety precautions you can take, and I mean, I can't imagine the heartbreak going over losing a child. Whatever safety precautions you can take, I mean, it just makes so much sense. And you look at the Consumer Reports is constantly saying that new cars and for used cars, great for teens, great for
Nope.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say used. I meant to say pre-owned
vehicles. It's okay, John. You're getting better.
But they're always rank as there, and the reason that they do it is because of the safety on it.
Yep.
And life's too short. I mean, I'm starting to sound like a really, really old guy now. But
yeah, you're good. You figured it out, John. You figured it out.
So you figure out that you keep your family safe, keep yourself safe, and one of the best cars to do it. Take your pick, whether it's an Outback, a Crosstrek.
They're all very highly ranked in safety and also reliability. So can't go wrong.
AnnapolisSubaru.com, 149 Old Solomon's Island Road. And just a couple of dates to put on your calendar. August 24th, the Puppy Plunge at Camp Let's for the SPCA. That's in Edgewater. Always a lot of fun. And we don't have dates, but Lights on the Bay is probably going to be like the day before and the day after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
When they do the lights and leashes. And we'll probably be hearing a little bit about Jess Fest pretty soon as well.
Yeah. I got to make a couple calls, figure out what's going on with that.
Next week, we will be back with Kelly unless those little white dogs are still revolting and keeping her at bay there. But we do miss you, Kelly, if you're listening to this.
Miss you, Kelly.
And we will get Rudy Jeremiah a home before you get back.
That's the plan.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, Tell your friends and colleagues. This is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at EyeOnAnnapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.